CJ Hopkins.
Wrong one.
Excuse me.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Wait.
Sorry, I fat fingered it.
Was that Tara's closing music? Yes, I think it was. All right. CJ Hopkins is making fun of Elmo in the free speech Twitter Psyop, which I think we knew in the beginning was a joke and a myth and not real. And CJ's talking about how it's a very enjoyable experience facing the fact that you've been bamboozled. Realizing that you've fallen prey to an elaborate con. Right. Or Psyop is painful. It's embarrassing. People feel ashamed. No one likes to see themselves as a sucker. It's humiliating and it makes people angry. It makes them want to lash out at someone. I'm not talking about anybody that came out with a famous song or anything in the last couple of weeks. Nope. That's not what this is about. But if you want to apply it to that, you go ahead. The funny thing is, it usually isn't the person that conned them that they want to lash out at. Doing that would only make them feel more ashamed. No, typically who people want to lash out at when they finally realize that they've been bamboozled are the people who didn't get bamboozled along with them and who tried to warn them that they were being bamboozled. This phenomenon is occurring.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, this phenomenon is occurring right now. I know this because a certain sector of my readers are angrily unsubscribing from my Substack and unfollowing me on Twitter and so on. This happens more or less every time that people start to realize I was right about some psyop or con that I warned them about. Russiagate or COVID, and now...
Speaking of con, you remember what I told you before we started, right? You forgot to do.
What did I... No.
Turn your screen on so I could see. There you go. I got you, fam.
Yeah, thank you. Yep, gotta do that.
We'll do it live.
Thanks, folks. Okay. Who tried to warn them? Okay, so again, let's go back. Typically, who people want to lash out at when they finally realize they've been bamboozled are the people who didn't get bamboozled along with them and who tried to warn them that they were being bamboozled. This phenomenon is occurring.
Damn, it must be true.
It must be. This phenomenon is occurring right now, and I know this because CJ says a certain sector of his readers are angrily unsubscribing from his Substack and unfollowing him on Twitter and so on. This happens more or less every time people start to realize I was right about some psyop or con I warned them about. Rushgate, COVID, now free speech Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it today. That's right. The jig is up. And I don't think that the jig was really ever down with us, but the bloom is off the rose. The cat is out of the bag. The party's over. The thrill is gone. Right? That's just very much.
The thrill is gone.
That's very much. I heard that in George Carlin's voice. I heard that read to me in George Carlin's voice. The jig is up. The bloom's off the rose. The cat's out of the bag. The party's over. The thrill is gone. You know, folks are finally starting to realize that free speech Twitter, quote unquote, was an elaborate con or a psyop, depending on how paranoid you are. And they're none too happy about this realization. So they're taking it out on blasphemers like me who tried to warn them about the Emperor Elonicus, which we laughed about 8 months ago, and how the Twitter files was a textbook limited hangout, and who pointed out how Musk shut it down as soon as it had served its purpose, and who had referred to some of them as Musk cultists and suckers, and who tweeted sarcastic tweets like this. Who's in control of Twitter? Gosh, we have no idea. Who could it possibly be? It certainly couldn't be our free speech loving cult leader who owns the fucking company. No, it has to be some secret cabal of woke communist libtard saboteurs. Yeah, that's got to be it.
Nothing to see here. Please disperse.
Oh, nice. And that's from Jordan Peterson. Yeah, who's in control? No one seems to know. Of course. Right. But
this lady really is coming up.
But I'm not writing this column to whine about that. It's part of human nature. I get it. I'm writing this column because maybe now that folks that are starting to face the fact that the whole free speech Twitter thing was an elaborate con or a trap or a psyop, maybe now they can knock off the Elon is our savior crap and try to pay attention to what's really happening. Here is an example of what is actually happening. So, as we said on as she's the new Twitter CEO, Linda Yaccarino, WEF puppet, said on CNBC on a Spaces, I'll be live on Spaces, then on CNBC to talk about it. Quote, we've introduced a new policy called freedom of speech, not reach. If you're going to post something that's lawful but awful,
but is awful.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get labeled. You get de-amplified, which means it cannot be shared, and it's certainly demonetized. I don't want your fucking money.
But
so,
that sounds like a terrible game show.
Here's a link to a tweet with a recording of that Spaces thing. Now, you're going to have to do that within 60 days of August 11th because that actually comes down after 60 days unless they put it up somewhere on YouTube or somewhere else. It's Linda Yaccarino, ex-CEO, explaining how the new censorship system works, and here's my favorite line. Quote, since acquisition, we've built brand safety and content moderation tools that have never before existed at this company. And we've introduced a new policy for your specific point about hate speech called freedom of speech, not reach. What she's talking about is the future of internet censorship, not the ham-fisted government-initiated censorship that people tend to think of when they think of censorship. Corporate censorship, free market censorship. What she's talking about is the virtually imperceptible moment-by-moment manipulation of social media content, search engine results, reference quote-unquote platforms like Wikipedia, which are totally controlled and manipulated by CIA, by the way, everything most people see on the internet. The corp speak term is visibility filtering, which we only found out about through the Twitter files, by the way. So while he says that the Twitter files was a limited hangout, that's where we got that terminology. From now on, instead of being suspended or deplatformed, which is bad PR and only draws more attention to the deplatformed party, dissident voices will simply just be de-amplified. We'll be free to post whatever we like, but we'll be talking to no one in a digital void where most people won't even know exists. Red-blue culture war, mudslinging content, and other such harmless entertainment that keeps the masses infuriated in each other's throats will of course be allowed and be amplified and monetized. But any serious form of political dissent or deviation, right? That's what they're going to monetize.
No, keep going.
Is the duopoly. Yep. But any serious form of political dissent or deviation from official narratives will be labeled hate speech or disinformation, dis and malinformation, or simply unhealthy. Right? Corporations like X and Meta, Alphabet, and Tencent, which is the big Chinese one that owns MeWe, will decide what is healthy. They will do so. Yes, they will do so with algorithms, but not only with algorithms. So here's Linda Yaccarino again, talking to CNBC this time, not in Spaces, that X gonna give it to you. Oh, gonna give it to you. I had to. Every time I see that, I think of DMX. All right, here's the lawful but awful content to get hidden. All right, but here's what they say. X is committed to encouraging healthy behavior. 99.9% of all impressions are healthy, and we have an extraordinary team of people who are overseeing hands-on keyboards, monitoring all day, every day. That's not creepy or anything, to make sure that 99.9% of impressions remain at that number.
Knock, knock, open up the door is real.
I don't know how much clearer she can make it.
Pop, pop.
A team of people
stainless steel
monitoring everything, moment by moment, every day. Not some badly written algorithm.
All day.
Not some
they have
secret,
a list.
Right?
They
not
check
some
it twice,
and sometimes even more than twice, and sometimes with FBI. But not some secret cabal.
Little helpers, you mean?
Well, Comey's little helpers.
Yeah.
Moment by moment, every day. Not some badly written algorithm. Not some secret cabal of mutinous wokesters sabotaging Elon's vision. Not the FBI, not the CIA, not the WEF, not the Rothschilds. Just Twitter. Just X. This isn't one of my conspiracy theories. There's absolutely nothing secret about it. It's all explained right here and here and here and here on the Twitter safety blog. Here's one of the...
What about there?
there too, but here's one of the interstitial labels that Twitter might put on your unhealthy tweet before they de-amplify it into oblivion. Visibility limited. This tweet may violate Twitter's rules against hateful conduct. And literally, you can't like it, bookmark it, share it, or retweet it. You got to screen cap it. See, Twitter is like totally committed to transparency.
Sure.
Of course, you have nothing to worry about.
But you won't see.
Right. Exactly. Well, isn't that what transparency is?
You won't see the transparency. Maybe. No.
Yes.
That's like dark clear.
Transparency is, I thought, what you don't see. But anyway.
Yeah. Going clear. Transparent.
Mm-hmm. So what they're saying is if you're tweeting or Xing healthy content, that extraordinary Twitter safety team that is monitoring everything all day, every day, and would never de-amplify or visibility filter or otherwise censor political speech. This isn't hate speech. You're, one of those interstitial labels to maliciously defame some troublesome author by deceiving people into thinking he was tweeting child pornography or graphic violent content like bestiality or necrophilia or some other age-restricted adult content, as Twitter was doing to CJ until May of this year. Yes, that's the case. They were putting interstitials on all of it, saying that they had to the people had to validate their birthday.
Age restricted.
This was all their tweets. It was a joke, right? So he says, I'm just joking, of course. They're going to keep doing that. Not to me anymore. Not that way. Not after he embarrassed Ella Irwin publicly. They removed those fake labels and just de-amplified me. But they're going to keep doing it to other people. They've been doing it to me and to INN for ages now. And not just X, all the corporations. They're going to keep visibility filtering and de-amplifying and vaporizing dissent, and there's currently nothing we can do about it. Meanwhile, did you get that one? Back at the Hall of Justice. Did you freeze? No. We, the free speech movement, will be celebrating our victory over the bad apples in government who were forcing the poor, helpless global corporations to censor everyone until we took them to court and made them stop with our democratic rights. Then we'll all live happily ever after. Of course, he's referring to Missouri v. Biden. I don't mean to shit on my friends and colleagues who are fighting hard against government censorship, and at least they're actually achieving something, while I'm just sitting here running my mouth. And the fight against government censorship is important. It is vitally important, and it has to be fought. I support it wholeheartedly, and I applaud them for fighting it, but it isn't going to change what's happening. What's happening is, and we've been talking about this for a while, globocap, or corporatism, or whatever you want to call the network of global corporations, governments, media, non-governmental governing entities, investment banks, global health authorities, academia, the culture industry, and other such entities that together compromise this decentralized system of power, and that ideology is currently running the entire planet. Whatever you want to call that, it's going totalitarian. Have you experienced anything like that, Mr. Reef? Global Cap?
Yeah, once or twice.
Right.
Once or twice.
So it's been going totalitarian, more or less openly, for the better part of the last 3 years. And CJ has been covering this transition for quite a while now and reiterated his analysis in many of his essays and published a book about it, which is possibly going to get him sent to prison in Germany. So he's not going to rehash it all again here, but which should come as a relief to his regular readers, which I'm one. But if you're new to his work, you can read the book or his essays, which are all on his blog at consentfactory.org and at his Substack, cjhopkins.substack.com. For now, trust me, we are going totalitarian. That's what all the visibility filtering is about. That's what the cancel culture is about. That's what all the mindless mass hysteria and the demonization and criminalization of dissent is about. It's why they're sending protesters to jail. It's what the free speech Twitter Psyop is about. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether Elon Musk even knows what he's doing. The system that he's an integral part of is evolving. Musk is going to help it evolve or he'll be replaced by someone who will help it evolve. Musk, Yaccarino, Zuckerberg, Pichai, Gates, Klaus Schwab, Wang Zhou, or pick your evil mastermind, George Soros, any of them. These people, notwithstanding their very real power, are just components of a system, a global system, a system that's evolving toward totalitarianism, because it really doesn't have anything else to do.
Yep.
I don't know how to stop this from happening, this evolution of global capitalism into a new form of totalitarianism. But one thing that occurs to me is it might help matters if we slowed down a bit and tried to actually understand what's happening, like in the broader historical systemic sense, and maybe didn't chomp down on every little piece of red meat bait that gets dangled in front of our faces, then whipped up into a frenzy over whatever the visibility filtering team at Twitter or X or Meta or Alphabet or some other corporation wants us whipped up over. Like a fucking song on YouTube, everybody. Can I be any fucking clearer about this? Oh,
Maybe.
and maybe the next time some self-aggrandizing global capitalist military contractor comes riding into town like billionaire Jesus to save us from his buddies in the proverbial big club, you know, the one that you ain't in, maybe folks could take a minute and at least hear me out before they start prostrating themselves at his feet. I'm not right about everything, of course, but I seem to be doing okay with this Psyop stuff. Kim.com, humiliating himself for the entire world to see. There you go, Karen. There you go, Kim.com. Subscribe to CJ Hopkins. I adore that man. He's a treasure. I love him to death. I actually, Substack, or maybe I downloaded some app that dictates Substacks to you from the app. So I actually listened to this kind of like in a robotic voice. Say it to me as I was reading it. Female robotic voice. And I just kept nodding along and predictably saying, like you did, pretty much what he was saying throughout. And it's a great piece. Big fan of CJ. I know he doesn't have many answers other than to acknowledge that this is what's happening and to try to tell everyone around us, because still
I saw he put up a thing today. Might have been today, might have been yesterday. It was like, yeah, we make mistakes and we sometimes fail, but we try.
Right? Rich people are good too. Yeah, there's good in the world too. Things are terrible, but there's also good in the world. I think Twidget got frozen. Damn it. Okay.
It does that.
Yeah, it does that sometimes. Okay, so let me grab the link to the stream again so I can start putting chats up, because I would like to show what people are saying here. Yeah, I don't want to be in that club either. It's got a lot of pedos in it, for sure.
Curse of Carlin, chapter 4, verse 3.
That's right. Well, also, Frozen Reef? No, it's not. He's not frozen. KYE? No, he's not frozen. All right, so I think his real evil company...
No, I have practiced standing so still that people don't see me. It's that Guardians of the Galaxy reference or whatever. Old Batista.
Nice. Shout out to Dave Batista. All right, let's put up... Elon never inhaled the blunt. I saw it. Really? Really, gamer? Is that true? He never inhaled it? I know he was sitting there in a cloud of smoke. Yes, he's using his Skynet software, not just for Ukraine, but also he used it in Hawaii, by the way. He sent Skynet and Tesla Powerwalls to Hawaii. So is that going to be involved in constructing 15-minute cities? That's a whole other story.